that the sexual organs were highly respected. People were not allowed to call them by their names, to even think of them. It was a taboo. But what of now? It is all over. And even as Byron was saying that it is common with women, I tend to say no. You find that most of the nudes, even in social media and any other place, are for men. It is even easier for men to show off themselves in public than women. How many men have you met on the way on just today, maybe going for a short call in public place? But it is something that is very rare with women.
Oh my!
So when you're in a relationship and a man tends to force you to send him your nudes, there's something wrong with that man.
There has to be boundaries.
If I love this man, Byron, if this man really loves me, why does he want to see my nudes? Why can't he come for the practical part of it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, why can't he come and see?
Let me tell you. Let me just to answer you.
Talk of hitting the nail on the head, like
of course,
boom.
Of course.
let me ask both of you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave the photos that are displayed in public aside. Let's talk about the so-called safe relationship boundary, the things you do, the two of you. Yes, si ati ya watu wengine. It's just for the two of you.
And then how does it come to the public? Number one, when you break up. And that is why I was saying that when I'm in a relationship, I have to set boundaries so that even after the breakup, I don't regret. You find that maybe someone wants to do this to you just because you are gone. He puts
the pain and the bitterness.
Yeah. So I'll do something that even if we break up today, I'll not regret having you. Yeah.
So this goes back to something.
Okay.
To him, to her, to her, love means a strong attachment to somebody. So strong that at the point of you breaking up, you feel you can't do without this man or without this girl. But to me, at the point of illusion, you trade everything with a lot of care because it can go in a flash of a minute. It's no longer there.
Okay.
So, let me say something.
You're a very dangerous species.
But now, honestly.
No.
When you get into a
relationship, how do you exist in a relationship
I give you
and
space.
still be okay with having that mindset of it can go anytime?
Surely.
When everybody else wants it to work, everybody else wants relationships to
last. Who tells you are the best? Who tells you are the best?
I hope I
but
am.
You see, Byron, you cannot be that negative.
You
see, anytime you get into a project, you think
want
of
it
it
to succeed.
I cannot unless I'm trying.
Let me tell you. If I'm in this relationship and what you said, selfless, I'm concerned. I'll be concerned because you won't go hungry in this house. You won't miss clothes in this house. Your basic needs I'll take care of. So I give you that space. When it comes to our intimacy and privacy, that is a bedroom issue. But we are in a society whereby this is no longer there. People quarrel in front of their kids. A mom from the bathing room walks with a towel all across, exposing everything before the kids and even visitors. And this to us is normal. What I want to say is that society has become, the attitude of the current society is so lenient on some behaviors and on some issues, whereby it is my life. I live it how I want it.
Okay.
Because if I want to correct you that really, if I love you and all that, and you start defining what love is and how I should treat you to prove that I love you, you are going to infringe in my freedom.
Okay. And something, have you just realized that Byron can be the most boring man to date? Have you just realized that?
I don't want to say that.
let me justify myself.
I don't want to say that.
I'm a loving man, and by the way, I have a kid.
Oh.
So, I give
your strategy has worked for you. That is that
works.
What you're saying?
It works because
it's a very dangerous
one. Let me tell you. Give somebody space to learn. Don't restrict somebody. You will have a lot of freedom and peace and happiness.
Okay.
Whereby you make the next party, if there's something questionable or there's something she's not getting right, she'll just come to me or call me, Dad, how are you? What is happening? at what time are we having dinner? I'll say, I'll not turn up today early because of 1, 2, 3. But let it not be a lie.
You tell them the truth.
The truth, because you can't lie over 5 times.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Okay.
So I really don't want this.
I'm trying. I'm almost getting your version of loving. It's
So,
sort of a freestyle kind of thing. Like just
do
do
your
your
stuff.
thing.
Which is
Which do your thing.
which can only
whatever
be,
works.
Which can only be applied in a relationship. Let me say in a, how do I put it? Just before marriage. But in marriage,
It's different.
And it can be so tricky.
Let me
Let me
take
say
you
this.
back to something. I still want something to come out very clear. We're talking about boundaries in relationships, and we've given examples of all those things that people do to prove love. And you seem to be a very strong supporter of there needs to be some sort of control in the far that you go in proving your love.
Yes.
At what point do you feel safe enough to start taking off the gloves and going all the way? Like, at what point? What should guide that?
No, at no
Because
point.
you know, when you are starting out, maybe you're still safe because you're holding back because you're trying to get to know each other. But then as the relationship graduates and it becomes something serious, a lot of people tend to like become so comfortable, and you start releasing information about yourself, things that you used to keep. So at what point do you do that?
Allow me to say that there are some things that you cannot disclose, maybe up to death.
So
I'm married. Let me tell you, I'm married for the
Relationship
last 6 years. I'm married, but there
Oh.
are so many things that my husband does not know about me.
I hope he's
Not
not
because
watching. Is he watching?
he's watching and he knows. I always say this even in church. He knows this. Not because not because I'm hiding something from him, but because I feel it is not necessary. Now, for example, how do I put my husband down and start telling him that I dated this man, we did this, we did? There's some information that are left. You know, there are even some you even die with them.
You take
You
them to
find
your
that
grave.
there are some things even about your background, about your family, that you cannot even tell your husband. There are some information that you cannot disclose to your partner.
But Charity, what happens to getting so soaked in love, getting so deep into it, and two becoming one, like knowing so much about you?
We are one. We are
Yes.
one. I know.
Yeah.
We are one. But there are some things I can't tell you. Because number one, I feel they are not necessary. Number two, for the sake of my security. You know, there are things that...
Do you agree with that?
Let me just ask you. Let me ask you.
Okay.
Has someone ever abused you with the information that you are the same person gave him
That
or
is
her?
exactly my point, because when people are in love, they tend to do so many
You have to
things.
be
Even
sober.
secrets.
You have to be
are
sober.
one way of proving that now we've gotten to a very comfortable space. I can share with you my secrets. It's a way of, for some people, it's a way of showing love.
We share a
Mature-
lot.
that-
I tell him so many things, but there's a limit. I can't just tell him everything.
Let me say this.
So how do we love and still be safe? People are making it so...
It's confusing anyway. So
Yeah.
setting
I
boundaries,
feel like it should get to a point where you just...
I know.
I think
Yeah.
these are the things that will help us set boundaries so well. What we learn from the time of getting to know.
Yeah.
What we learn, what we see happen, and the associate we are with will help us define our privacy and how our relationship works.
Okay.
When you are in a relationship and you are in fear, let me tell you, you are in the wrong place. Because when you are in fear, you are constantly disturbed because you don't know the reaction of the next person. Information sharing, it is not bad, but it is better. It is better, and this is my policy. However bad it is, tell me, I'll handle it. If I really respect you, if I really love you, which to me is an illusion, if I'm attached to you, let me say, if I'm attached to you, I'll keep it as you would have kept it.
So you advocate for all secrets to
Tell
be
me,
shared.
tell me, it is dirty, I'll keep it.
What if the relationship
Let me
doesn't
tell
work?
you, let me tell you, every man has
People
a
use
sorrow.
it against you.
That is now the human nature, which we can never predict.
People start exposing you.
But let me tell you, every person has a point of sorrow in his or her life.
Yes.
It is how we build each other up that really makes you forget that somewhere in my life there was this bad accident that came into me. And that is why whatever you're hiding from your husband, the day you know, you will be kicked out.
Let's not make this about Charity. I'm afraid, I'm scared when you go back home. Anyway, allow me take only 2 reactions. Paul Odongo Okango says, what can I speak of love? How can I describe it? I'm 50 years, but there are 3 ladies I have loved in my life, and the love can't fade away from my mind. Though one is dead, I have spent a lot just to keep her memory. Let love sparkle. That is what he says. Let love sparkle. But he has loved 3 ladies so far, and he still has their memories in his heart. Is it possible to love 3 people with the same intensity, the same everything? You'll tell me that in a bit. Joe Oundo says, if you cannot have the one you love, then love the one you have.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mysterious, dysfunctional, interesting name. I've noted your concern. Thank you so much. I've noted your concern. This is not for this conversation, though.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I want to, if you don't love the one you're with,
if you don't have the one you love,
love the one you have.
That is the principle.
There are so many people who are loving the one they have.
That is it. And life goes on. We are social beings. So how I identify myself, or how we identify at the basic unit, which is the family, keeps everything flowing. But everything flows if we just allow. You see? If we just allow.
You are a very freestyle person.
Everything flows.
Let everything flow the way
everything
they want.
flows.
There is no standard structure, an organized way of this is how we want to run this relationship. These are the boundaries. These are the principles.
And that is why,
these are the do's. These are the don'ts.
And
there is nothing like that for you, Byron.
Because when I start defining, let me tell you, it will not really, we will not conform. Because maybe I'll come up with very strict things that you really will, and we will clash.
Okay.
Like when you from work, you're tired, I'm from work, I'm tired. We are all angry. I'm waiting for you to go and cook. The kid is there, also demands some attention. Why can't I cook as you attend the kid? And you find this guy is so tyrannical, the fact that by 8 food is on the table. If it is not there, you are abused.
There is a problem. Charity, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, and that's why I was saying that marriage, that's why we get the certificate before we pursue the course. It does not have a common formula. The way he runs his house is totally different from the way I run mine. So that if we were to have the certificate after the course, no, we could not have
many people would not qualify.
Yeah, no, very many people could not qualify. So we find that even in marriage, you sleep, but you still come up and continue with the life.
Let me say this. Let me say this. For as a Christian, this is from the time man fall, from the fall of man in the Garden of Eden, nothing has changed up to now. The fallen nature of man is never changing. In fact, we are moving from bad to worse. And what I'm trying to tell us, we adjust, but we try to find some profitable doctrines, as I'll call it, to guide us. Because if at all we are going to move into this, we are going to adopt how society is moving, then we are going to realize that even our values, our founding principles at the family level, at every level of this society is washed out. So as we adopt civilization, as we adopt the era of digital, what is it that we are carrying with ourselves ahead that really don't bring a lot of collisions? Because what we copy, what we learn, goes into the mind and we live according to it. Like, let me say, these social problems, they are everywhere. If you go to graphic and design, they are there. In music, they are there. In every social aspect, it is there. And at the bottom line, what is happening in the current society is that we don't have mentors And if indeed we had mentors, these things of this and that will really be so much aware of how to handle